What's up, you guys? It's Kyle, and in this video I wanted to talk a little bit about the real estate industry, what we've been going through, and how, like most industries, we've just had to pivot and adapt and been able to not only keep business going as usual, but actually accelerate business and do more business than ever before. So I want to give a little bit of insight in what I've been doing pre-pandemic, what I've been doing during the pandemic, and a little bit of the tips and tricks that I have for being able to not only do business, but being able to have my best month ever just recently. So before we get into any of this, I need you to do a couple things for me. First, smash the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. I would very much appreciate it, as well as subscribe if you have not done so already, and hit the notification bell so you will get notifications every time I post a new video, which is pretty often these days. And if you're on Instagram, follow me there as well, because I post there pretty much daily, so you will get other aspects of my life as well. So before we get into everything, I feel like it's necessary to go back to touch on why I got into real estate in the first place. So I got into real estate, as many of you may know, from pursuing my dream of becoming a film and television actor. Now, I moved from Pennsylvania to New York City, New Jersey, northern New Jersey, which I consider just a borough of New York City, right outside of Manhattan, and have got into this career to be able to sustain myself while I was pursuing this acting career. Because as most people understand, you don't make money right away in acting, and you need a side hustle or a side gig. So I got into real estate because of the flexibility, and even when you do become a professional actor, and professional actor is very relative, but my definition of a professional actor was getting paid to act. So once somebody's giving me good money to be able to act in their project, I felt comfortable calling myself a professional actor. But even at that level, you're not raking in the bucks to be able to live a comfortable life. So it's the long haul, and you need to really find out something else to do that provides for the flexibility of being able to live that life of having to go to an audition and just afford the flexibility of your own schedule and still be able to make a comfortable living. And that is why I got into real estate, and why I believe real estate is one of the most lucrative and flexible careers that you can get into while being your own boss. So that is my quick and easy of how I got into real estate. I really do love real estate because of a couple things. One, the flexibility it can afford you to make your own schedule. Two, the gratification you can get just from helping people find their dream place, or even sell their place and get money for their investment and really get a return for their investment. And then also three, not to mention the really amount of money you can make is incredible, and it directly correlates with how hard you work and how smart you work. And if you can put those things together and work smart and hard, you can really make a large amount of money in a relatively short amount of time. So I went from rentals to sales, working as an individual agent, to opening a brokerage, and then also having a team under me. And so I've been through every aspect of the business. And in this video, I want to go through four things. I want to go through one, the most important thing that anyone must do to create business for themselves, no matter if it's pre-pandemic or now. Two, what I'm seeing in the marketplace in regards to buyers and sellers, as well as renters and landlords. Three, I want to go over where I think the market is going. And also four, I will step by step give you the exact things that I have done to be able to put together my best month ever in and during this pandemic. Okay, so first, the most important action. The most important action that anyone can do, even before this was going on and during this time right now, is the hour of power, or hours of power, depending on how much you want. This is a direct correlation of how much business you want to do. So for instance, it started out with me with 1 hour of power, and it was 10 contacts. Now you might say, oh, that seems pretty easy. I just need to talk to 10 people. It's harder than you think, but it is really easy in the fact that really all your business comes down to is the hours of power during doing real estate and doing business. You can actually relate this to many different industries. Think of it this way. Instead of just sitting there waiting for business to come, answering an email, a text message, thinking you're doing work and tricking your mind into doing work and making yourself believe that you're doing work. You hone in on that hour of power and you make business, you create business, you find business. What this means is this. In regards to real estate, I have now gone to, it's possibly about 2 hours of power that I do every day. 2 hours. And you think about this, 2 hours. Of course I'd like to do that. Of course, 2 hours of work, of real work. That's all it takes. You know, instead of standing on your feet 6 hours bartending, you're just doing 2 hours of work and the rest is just fill-in. So what this means is this. If I want to contact 25 people a day, it takes me roughly 2 hours to do. So how I break it down is this. 5 new people. So what this might be is for sale by owners. People trying to sell on their own. You can type in for sale by owner on Zillow and you'll find people and their phone numbers. You learn the scripts, you learn how to talk to them. It's a skill. Don't have analysis paralysis. Don't wait and try to learn before you talk to these people. Just call them and learn as you go. For sale by owners are a big one that not only was it hard for them to sell before the pandemic, now it's almost impossible. So I've been able to get those people on the phone and help them out and be able to get business from them. Number 2 out of that is expireds. You can talk to expireds. These are people that have tried to sell with a real estate agent. They've already succumbed to the idea of using a real estate agent and their agent hasn't been able to do a good job. So they've already thought about using an agent. Now they have initial blowback, but they're open to the idea. The next group of people is sphere of influence or past clients. So past clients could have been somebody I did a deal with last year and now they live somewhere and you just call them up and you say, hey, so-and-so, how you doing? How's your apartment? What's going on? How's everything? Life in this pandemic? You have that conversation with them, but that's one contact. And then you keep going through your Rolodex so you can talk to 5 new people and then 5 follow-ups. So the follow-ups are the people that were new today and tomorrow they're follow-ups. So it's new people, follow-ups, sphere of influence, past clients, and then buyers. I speak with buyers. I probably use a handful of buyers I probably handle about 5 buyers at a time. I might touch base with them each once a day just to see what's new, what's going on in the market. Have they seen anything? Do they want to make an appointment? So if I get more than that, I usually hand off the buyers, and that's how I leverage myself and be able to give other people business. And then also on top of that is lessees or lessors. So lessors are pretty much like landlords that they might just come because they have their apartments opening up and need my help to rent it out, or it's people that, I still have postings that happen every day that somebody puts out for me. So it might be a lead coming in from a lease. And if I can't handle it, I'll hand it out. So it's those 20 out of those groups of people, 25 contacts a day. That's my hour of power, and that's the absolute most important thing that anyone can do. It usually takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to talk to all those people. So another thing to mention about the hour of power, I've always done this in some aspect. So even when I was doing rentals, it was posting 10 things a day, avoiding all distractions, grabbing my coffee and only doing this and making sure I did this before anything else was done, before any emails were answered, any phone calls, any texts, any distractions. Just get that done, and then you're fielding calls and fielding business in and filling it in throughout the rest of the day. You could probably, even if it's not real estate and you're watching this video, relate this to any other business that you're looking for business. Your hour of power is searching and hunting for business. So the second topic of this video I wanted to talk about is what I'm seeing with buyers and sellers. So let's go over buyers first, and even renters and landlords. Let's go over buyers first. Buyers are now, the rates are incredibly low still. So it's basically like you're borrowing money from a bank at 3%, it's still low. That's almost like free money. So whereas interest rates back in the day used to be somewhere like, could have been as high as 16%, 12%. On a credit card, it's like 16% or 18%. I don't know because I pay it off every month, but it's 3% to get a loan that you're seeing, a primary loan, 30-year fixed mortgage. This is pretty much like free money. So the rates are still low and people can afford to purchase houses. The thing that they're seeing, that I'm seeing, especially with buyers being in this situation, is that they're stuck in their apartment. They're stuck in a maybe small apartment. They need to get out, or they're stuck in a little house. They want a bigger house, or they're stuck in somewhere without outdoor space. They want outdoor space. So it's like they're seeing that they can't stay in their apartment in the current situation, and they're looking to sell or rent it out and get into something bigger. Now, on the flip side of this, sellers are thinking of a couple things. They're thinking, okay, they're worrying about where the market's headed. They're worrying about, well, I've seen a good increase in the past, from 2012 to now to 2017, and then a slight dip, and now this happened. I don't know where it's headed. Nobody has a crystal ball, but I've seen pretty good appreciation. I'm near the top of where I think, prices are. I'm willing to sell right now. So they're thinking that way. And also they're seeing that these serious buyers are out there and that all these other people are pulling their listings and not putting it on the market right now. So, they're thinking that they have a good possibility of selling at a good price. Now, as far as renters and landlords, I'm seeing renters doing the same thing. They're moving from a smaller place to a bigger place with outdoor space so they can enjoy some time outside. I'm also seeing landlords, having to rent their place out. So they're, quickly putting their place on the market at a greatly reduced rent just to get somebody in there because they don't know where the market's headed. So I do see business happening, and this is the kind of conversations you have to have with all these different types of people. So the third topic of this video, where do I see the market headed right now? Honestly, I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody does. I know this isn't an answer, but on the one side, we have 30 million plus people unemployed. Now, did they just get unemployed because of this current situation, and now once the economy opens back up, they're all going to get rehired? Or is this a bigger problem that things are going to change in the economy? So that is a huge question on people's mind, and it could be a domino effect. If they can't pay their rents and the landlords can't pay the mortgage to the banks, well, there's going to be a domino effect on that. However, we don't see this as a real estate problem. It's, the stock market took a huge hit because the stock market got spooked, and because of all this unemployment happening and just the virus in general, everybody got spooked, and the people that are close to retirement wanted to get their money out too, and the stock market's much more volatile. Now the real estate market is slower to react, but it's not a real estate problem. People need places to live. Yes, the luxury market in New York City, maybe, for instance, might get hit a lot, and that had been on a decline since 2017, but that's going to just sprawl out, and when you have a suburban sprawl of people moving from a city into houses, it's not really going to create a lack of demand. It's going to create more of demand into these places, and you're going to see places like that are houses that have yards, I think, and not being around so many people. I don't see the value in that going down. So that's where I'm seeing and what I think and where we're headed. I don't see it being a real estate problem. And, the government's doing a pretty good job right now to create stimulus and to be able to keep people to pay their rents. And if we see a pause on some payments with the banks, so the landlords don't have any problems, and they're being able to do the forbearance and do the extension on the mortgage right now. So there's options out there. So let's get into how I was able to put together 5 sales deals in the month of May, as well as do a couple rental deals. So there are a few things that have changed in the marketplace right now that we've had to pivot and course correct and just adapt with what's going on. So it hasn't been business as usual where people just go into properties and view them. It's been a lot heavily relying on some certain aspects of virtual tours. So one company is Matterport Technology. We've been using Matterport even before this was happening, but now it's even more prevalent that it's very important that people were able to, even before the pandemic happened, being able to tour these houses by sitting on their couch. I mean, and getting their first tour in that way. Of course, that's technology was heading that way anyway, and that's where the industry was heading. So why wouldn't we embrace this? So that's one thing that we're seeing right now. The other is with these Zoom tours that we can actually, the first deal that I did post this quarantine was having myself and having the buyer, the seller, and the two agents, myself and another agent, on a Zoom tour where the seller was just taking us through on the phone, and we were able to tour it like we were just touring in the house and asking to look here, look there, and the buyers actually put in an offer that got accepted, and then during the inspection they came in for the first time seeing it physically and loved it. There was nothing else to, I mean, really, once you know where the place is and you drive by the outside, it's really just, going to come down to you coming in and having a feel for the place. So if they didn't like it during the inspection, I mean, they were able to possibly get out of the deal, but there is not, that was one of the contingencies we made, that they had to see it in person prior to closing. So they just came in that one time and everything was good, and we're heading to the closing table. The next way that I was able to do all this business was, I believe, having these conversations with the buyers and sellers, as well as lessees and lessors, but mostly the buyers and sellers, just like I had before, of what I'm seeing buyers go through, what I'm seeing sellers go through, having that discussion, talking it out, and just seeing what, where we're headed, setting buyers' minds at ease about the purchasing process right now, and setting sellers' minds at ease about the selling process right now, that the serious buyers are out there, that we have been at kind of a top since 2017 or so. So it might be a good time to, get your house on the market and get these serious buyers to actually, to pay a good price for it, because the rates are still low. So that is one of the main things that I think I've been able to do all this business, is because I'm having these conversations with the buyers and sellers and educating them on this stuff. Now, another reason I was able to do this business too is I just feel that not only am I not taking off this time and putting on a pause, but I'm doubling down and working harder, because, for instance, one place that we got under contract last week, it was a buyer that I've worked with as a sphere of influence. I've worked with them for over a year now, looking at places. We made an offer on this same place a year ago and didn't get accepted. The place went off the market, and now the buyer was out because they had a baby and they wanted to get some places with outdoor space and just get into a bigger space and get almost their forever house, or at least their 10-year house, that they had space, they had some outdoor space, they could enjoy themselves more at home instead of a smaller apartment. So they got knocked around a couple times, not being able to get the places they wanted and being outbid. And then I had just gone through and found this place, dug it up, resurrected it, it wasn't on the market anymore, contacted the owners and the agent to see if they still wanted to sell, and they did, and we got it accepted, the offer accepted, and into contract. So this was a $2 million plus place that we've been working on for a long time, and it's just about that. It might seem like we got the deal done this month, which we did, but it was working with them for over a year, and just having the situation come up and being the right time and the right place at the right time, and being able to work these leads and these connections that we've had to be able to make the puzzle fit. So on top of this, 3 other of my listings sold. 2 of them were FSBOs, and just really, if FSBOs, for sale by owners, can't sell in a normal market, they definitely can't sell in this type of market. So that was 2 of them got under contract, and then 1 was an expired that, it's the ideal situation for right now. Had a house, it had a garage, and it has a yard, so like people can enjoy that, and I ended up selling it to a nurse that just wanted to have close proximity to the city and come home and be able to enjoy their space. So as far as renters and landlords, some renters, yes, they lost their jobs and it's unfortunate and they had to move out, but then the landlords had to rent their place out, so they dropped it. And I had one renter this month do a $5,000 rental because they wanted to move from their 2-bedroom to a bigger 3-bedroom, and this 3-bedroom was $6,000 last month, but now since the owner needed to rent it out, it's dropped it to $5,000 just to get somebody in there, and then was able to pay the full broker commission, which is 1 month rent, because they are in need of help to get their places rented out. So again, I don't know where this market is headed, but I feel like right now is the time to double down on everything and work even harder. So if this can give you any insight on how and what steps to take daily just to be able to move things forward and keep sustaining business and accelerating business, then please, I hope to do so. You can also reach me below. Please leave a comment, and if you would like to email me, my email is below. I can talk about private coaching as well, but please leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this, and if you ever thought about getting into real estate, now might be the time, because we can do a lot of things online. I know there's online courses, and some of my friends, 2 of them even reached out to me, said they wanted to take the test, and they took the course online, are taking the state exam online, which has never been done before. So they're actually able to do this and get their real estate license, which you can always have, and it's very flexible. So I would recommend looking into it. It's job security. So guys, thank you so much. Leave a comment below. Please let me know what you think about this and what your thoughts are, as well as hit the like button, please. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, so I would greatly appreciate it. And subscribe if you have not done so already. Hit the notification bell so you get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you want, follow me on Instagram. I post there pretty much daily, so you'll get other aspects of my life as well. Guys, thank you so much, and have a great day.